Hello again, everyone. This is American Idioms, part 149. This is part 149 in my American Idiom series. And like the others, I'll present five idioms to you, numbered 741 to 745. But first, I'll give you a chance to guess their meanings. Then I'll give you the answers along with an additional example for each new idiom. I also recommend that you pause the video at each question to give yourself some extra time to think of the answers. So, are you ready? Okay, here we go. Number 741, get out over one's skis. And the example is the startup got out over its skis by expanding into five new countries before it even made a profit. Can you guess the meaning? And the answer here is C, to act prematurely or to get ahead of oneself. This is what it means. You get over your skis, you're ahead of yourself, as we say. Like in our example, there is a startup company and they started expanding too fast. They got over their skis. They acted prematurely with their expansion and before they even made a profit. Okay. So they're having a problem. They got ahead of themselves. Like our next example. Our manager told us that we are going to stay focused on our core strengths to ensure we aren't getting out over our skis with this new project. All right. In this case, the manager is going to have his staff focus on their strengths, right? So they don't act too prematurely. All right. Or they don't get ahead of themselves when they do this next project. All right. Now for number 742, pennies on the dollar. And the example is at the last land auction, I was able to buy a foreclosed home in my neighborhood for pennies on the dollar. Can you guess the meaning? And the answer here is B, something that is bought or sold for a very small fraction of its original cost or value. So what it means if we buy something for pennies on the dollar. We also use the words for pennies, buy something for pennies, meaning we really made a good deal. Okay. We bought it for a fraction of its cost. Like in our example, we're talking about a foreclosed home, which means that they got it very, very cheap. They got it for pennies on the dollar. Here's another example. Jesse found a designer suit at a thrift store for pennies on the dollar. Okay, so this person found this designer suit, which probably was expensive, but it was at a thrift store and he bought it for pennies on the dollar. Very, very cheap. Got it. All right, now for number 743, bet your bottom dollar. And the example is that is not a good airport. So you can bet your bottom dollar that your flight will be delayed tomorrow. All right. Can you guess the meaning? And the answer here is A, to be totally certain that something will happen. That's what it means. If you bet your bottom dollar, you know it's going to happen or you're very certain about it, like this airport. This person is saying, well, that's not a good airport. So you can be certain that your flight will be delayed because it's not a good airport. All right. You can bet your bottom dollar. Here's another example. Jerome is a very unorganized student, so you can bet your bottom dollar that he will lose or forget something for class today. We have a sure thing, right? An unorganized student, and we are certain here that he's going to forget something or lose something, right? If somebody is unorganized. This is what it means. All right, now for number 744, shoot off one's mouth. And the example is, don't go shooting off your mouth about how much you hate our boss in public. Someone might be recording you with their phone, and then you'll be in big trouble with him. Can you guess the meaning? And the answer here is B, to speak without discretion, to speak too loudly or freely. When you shoot off your mouth, this is what you do. You talk too loudly or freely, you're not worried about anyone hearing you. And like in our example, if this person did it in public, somebody probably recorded them with their phones, right? So then they're going to be in big trouble for shooting off their mouth, right? For speaking like that. Here's another example. We had planned Herman's surprise party for a month, and you ruined the surprise when you shot off your mouth about it yesterday in the hallway just as he walked by you. All right, this person was speaking too loudly. They weren't really watching what they were saying. They didn't use discretion. And Herman came by and heard about his surprise party. All right, you got it? So be careful of when you shoot off your mouth. And now our final idiom number 745, a brush with the law. And the example is, Fred's brush with the law is nothing to laugh about when he got caught speeding because he could lose his license if he gets a strict judge. Can you guess the meaning? And the answer here is C. A brief encounter with the legal system in general. It's what it means. And generally speaking, if you have a brush with the law, it means that something happened with the legal system. Usually you have an encounter with the police for some reason. Okay. In this case, Fred was caught speeding, right? That's what his brush with the law was. All right. And if he gets a strict judge, he might lose his license. Okay. Because of his brush with the law. Here's another example. When she was a teenager, she had a brush with the law for shoplifting. But since then, she has been a very honest and responsible adult. This person had a brush with the law, all right, because she was caught probably shoplifting, means stealing something from a store when she was a teenager. But since then, she's honest and now she's a responsible adult. Okay. So her brush with the law didn't hurt her or stop her from being honest and responsible. Got it? That's all for this video. Thanks again for subscribing, and please like and share the video to support the channel. And remember what I always say, keep practicing. See you next time.